to another episode of Sanford Says. My name is Lisa Holder, Chief Communications and Cultural Affairs Administrator for the City of Sanford. You're listening to Sanford Says, the city's podcast. And today we have another great informative episode. We're going to be talking about the City of Sanford's multi-million-dollar water meter replacement project. We have several guests with us today from several partners that the city's working with to make this project easy for you as our resident and business owner, and just as an informative episode for those that are interested in city business. I'm going to introduce our guests. We have Bill Marcoux. Bill Marcoux is our utilities manager from the City of Sanford. Bill's been on the episode before. Hi, Bill.
Hello.
We have Matt Gans. Matt is from ZHA. He is the project manager, and we would call a city consultant for this project. We have two consultants, two companies. Monty Merkel is from SL Serco, and they are another consultant for the City of Sanford. Hi, Monty.
Good afternoon.
And then we have Peyton Duncan. He's from Core and Maine. They are our distributor, and he is a smart utility specialist. We also have Jason Milhorn, who is the sales rep for Core and Maine. And like I said, they're the distributors of our new water meters. So we're going to get into a real broad overview of this project and just an introduction to what the city is going to be getting into in the next couple of years. We'll start here with Bill to give an overarching view of the project and kind of where we are and how we got to this point and what to expect. Bill.
Yeah, we're just about to launch a mass meter exchange project, which is an AMI type project. That's for automated metering infrastructure, and is really going to take our meter system into the future. Currently, we have a system that's out there. It's aged out. It's about 15 years old, and it creates a challenge for both the customer and the utility in the billing area. And it's really important for us to have accurate billing because water is a really important part of everybody's daily experience. So we've been working on this for a few years, and as they indicated, we have a few people on our team. We have SL Serco has been with us from the very beginning, helping chart this course, and we brought in ZHA, who will be our on-site project manager. Core and Maine is a national company that's local, but they are the vendor for the meter we have selected, which is Census. Census is one of the biggest leaders in the water meter business or industry. They have a big footprint here in Central Florida. A number of systems use Census, so we won't be out there by ourselves. This is a tried and true solution here in Central Florida. We have Orange City, Winter Park, Ocoee, Winter Garden, just a series of Castleberry, just a series of customers under the umbrella for Census. So this is a very exciting time for us. And the technology is something that's very special and up to date, and we can get into that when you're ready.
Right, and so Peyton is with Core and Maine, and your title is Smart Utility Specialist. So obviously that has to do with our technology, right? That's basically one of the reasons we're in 2024, and this industry has probably come a long way in meter reading. But can you take us through the technology of these meters that the city's going to be installing?
Yeah, of course. So on the commercial side, as far as the actual meter, the metrology goes, these are all standard what we call Census Omni Plus meters. They are a prop-driven meter. They have a propeller that measures the water flow, and depending on the situation where it's being put in, there are different types of commercial meters, whether it be what we call a compound, a turbo, residential, but that just kind of depends on what the application is being used for. Far as the residential side, what we're looking to install here in Sanford is the Census iPearl. So this is what we call a solid state meter, and so this has no moving parts. So the way that this measures is by measuring the positive and negative electrons in the water itself. So it's what we call a mag meter. So then moving on to the actual communication network that we're using, we're installing 3 towers throughout the city, and these will communicate through a FCC licensed primary spectrum radio frequency. So this is the city's frequency. There's no outside interference, so we can make sure that all reads, all data gets across the way it should. And then, of course, moving into like the software side, we're going to be implementing what we call Census Analytics. And this is a platform where the city can go in and see hourly data, water data from the customers. So as far as a customer service standpoint, this is a great aspect of the project where it's no longer one reading a month. You don't know, how much you use until that month comes. Now there will be hourly data throughout the entire month.
Right. So if you want to conserve your own water, you can. You're in charge of, I guess, how much water you use. You can see it right there. It's very, I guess, you feel more hands-on in that aspect. And I know that you mentioned something about the smart technology. When we talk about radio frequency, how is that? Can we get into how briefly and how it's different than a Wi-Fi connection or something like that? Is it not too technical, but it's based on radio frequency, not just your regular Wi-Fi?
No, it's not just based on a regular Wi-Fi, or I know some offer a cellular version, but this is a primary licensed spectrum frequency. So it's in the 900 megahertz range, and it's a normal radio signal. So, and the way this works is we're actually able to put out more power than a standard Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, cellular communication. So this just ensures more resiliency whenever it comes to the communication network that's being stood up.
Okay. Jason, do you want to talk about how what your role is and where the first steps in terms of you're really out in the field making sure that things are coordinated. Now I know we're starting with the commercial side of it now, right?
Yes, for sure. Just making sure that we get the supplies here on site, ready for the installers when we're ready to kick off.
Okay, all right. And so do we have a Bill, do we have a timeline, so to speak, that for I know we know and it has been decided we're doing the commercial side. We're talking about, I think there's 25,000 total meters between residential and commercial together that have to be changed out?
Yep, that's exactly right. And so where we are is just finishing up the permitting associated with the antennas that Peyton was describing.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Which will 2 will be on water towers and 1 will be on a cell tower, and that will basically provide an umbrella over the city where this will be communicating. So the meters will be communicating to the antennas, and then the antennas will transmit that information back to the city. And as you say, we almost real time will be able to see consumption and manage the utility with that data.
Okay, so do we have so the towers will be installed, and then you're looking at, I think, for the commercial side of it, there's a procedure that we've got in place to actually go out to the businesses, and I don't know if that's something that Monty wanted to talk about as the consultant. Rather,
Sure.
We're going to be door to door with the local businesses. Monty, is that right?
So how do we reach out to and coordinate with the business community? It will be a little bit different than the residential, correct?
Correct. Yeah. One of the key things is, to keep the hassle for the businesses down. We don't want to interrupt them if we can avoid it. So every commercial customer will be visited by the installer, and an appointment will be set up to get the meter in. Sometimes they can do it then and there. Other times they'll have to make an appointment at a special time, because some of these meters may take an extended period of time to put in. It'll be, like an hour, 2 hours, as opposed to the standard 30 minutes for a residential meter. And so we want to make sure and talk to the businesses and make sure that we're doing this at a time that is not going to disrupt them too much.
Okay, I mean definitely a good point to make. And so I just want to share too that we will have on the city website an extensive frequently asked questions webpage about this project. And we also have created a fun marketing tool to get the word out by creating a mascot for this water meter replacement project. Again, it's an approximate $11 million project for the city of Sanford. Many years planning, and we've designed through a contest a water meter reader mascot, so to speak, and her name is Pearl, and we're going to be unveiling that. And when you so we want the whole community to be aware of this major project. Everyone is affected in the city of Sanford, and so there's going to be timelines available so you can see clearly of when your home or your business will be reached and how we will do that, including social media, etc. So after all of this background information is being shared with you, you can use the city website as a resource to find out more information. And we want you to be informed, well informed with this project. That's why we're stepping out ahead of the game here to get this information out to you. This is a very broad reach right here, but there are many, many details that you should still be aware of. And we hope that you take advantage of that too. So Matt, do you want to share some insight into some of the consulting work that you're doing for us on this project that would be helpful?
Sure, yeah. Sure. Thanks, Lisa. So really what we're going to do is, from a ZHA standpoint, is we're going to manage and work with SL Serco and the city, and we didn't mention VEPO, but VEPO is going to be our installer on site. They're going to be our boots on the ground, and ZHA will have a representative on site as well, monitoring VEPO as they install and talking with customers and talking with residents and just making sure everything goes smooth. Like Lisa said, there'll be a phone number, an email address that you could contact if you have any questions or if there's any anything you would like to touch on in regards to your installation.
Okay.
Matt, won't they have some ID too?
Yes. So VEPO will be wearing hard hats. They'll be wearing vests. They're going to have shirts on. You'll see VEPO. They're going to be walking around with hang tags, putting them on doors, bringing them to businesses. Also, ZHA will be wearing a hard hat and a vest also that says ZHA. So you'll know who's there and what they're working on when they're there.
Right, and that's a great opportunity for our residents to know this, because we're going to have those images on our website. You're going to see what they look like, so you'll know who we're referring to, and on this. And so I think the really great part of this, Bill, and correct me if I'm wrong, but is that dashboard, that interactive dashboard that there'll be a learning process, of course, for the average customer, resident, but to actually be able to go on, most people, I'm sure it's mobile too. Can you use your app and look on the dashboard too? Is that right, Peyton? Yeah. So, did you want to say something?
Yeah. So Peyton, can you basically spell out what the customer would expect or to see when they open up the portal?
Yeah. So I think it's important to kind of separate. There's two separate dashboarding solutions. There's one that's what we call census analytics, and that is going to be more on the city side, where they can get more of a look at the raw data for optimization of the system. But there's also, we're implementing a customer portal called Aquahawk. So that is going to be on the customer side. You can log in. You will be able to view basically the same data that's coming across, but also some of your billing information as well. So you'll be able to see, how much water you use during a certain period. You can look at your hourly consumption, so that way if something's out of the ordinary, we can hopefully help you stop a leak before it turns into a bigger bill.
Okay. I think that's a great feature to have.
Yeah, and Peyton, can you expand a little bit on a system like this, which is really sophisticated, it does help the utility manage, the distribution system. And so, can you speak about the platform and what kind of information the city can gather in managing the system, and maybe some other features that could be added over time?
Yeah, of course. So it's, like Bill was saying, this is something that it can not only help from a customer standpoint, but also from the distribution standpoint. So we can add things as pressure, temperature sensors to this same system using the same communication network. So this will allow the city to actually, see where the pressure of the system's at, be able to make sure pressure stays at a point where it's good for the customers, where it's good for the system. And also we can include things like levels. So not only can we include levels of different city aspects, but also lake levels around the system. So I know with, the big lake right here up against Sanford, we can include sensors that can tell that level of the lake. And that all communicates through the same, there's no extra stand-up of towers per se. It's all throughout the same communication network.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so it's dynamic, and it has that, like you said, different applications if we want to get into, like lake management or other aspects. We also can add water quality sensors, like chlorine levels or some other sensors that would be a very big concern for both the customer and the utility if something was not according to our regular standards.
Right. And I would like to just underscore, I'm a resident, and work for the city, but just in general as a human being, water is the most important, I think, aspect in life besides air. And so oxygen. And so this is so important that the city of Sanford provides. I mean, this is one of our services and it takes so much to provide with good, clean, quality water, and to be good stewards of that water. But I don't know if anyone else wanted to just mention that. Monty, I know we had talked about that several times on the calls that we've done about communications, et cetera. Did you have a couple of just supportive ideas about that whole,
Oh, yes. The water utility is really an unsung hero when it comes to the health of everyone, because water touches us every day. There's no other utility that we can do. We can do without a lot of things, but water is not one of them. And the lengths that the utilities here in the United States, especially Sanford, goes to make sure your drinking water is safe, is just incredible. And they really, really are the unsung heroes that that touches our lives every day.
Yeah, I agree with that. Does anybody have I saw you writing down something, Jason. Was that just a personal thing? A note? Okay. All right. Because does anybody have anything that they want to mention? We have, if there's questions out there, we've got an email, utilitycustomerservice@sanfordfl.gov. Always, you can just, for all of our water utility questions and concerns, and you can email billing. And then phone number 407-688-5100. Now, we also have, you can contact customer service at the utility department through our Sanford Connects app, which is available on all of your mobile phones. Just download the free app. And then also we have installer contact information that we will have on the website too when we get to that point. There's a phone number there. And what we're trying to do is to be so transparent in everything. Like, again, I can't say it enough. We would like for you to be aware, knowledgeable of what is happening. We're providing the information. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, your kids, what's happening in the next 12 months to 24 months. Matt, do you have anything that you'd like to add at this time?
Yeah, so be on the lookout for trucks that have a VEPO logo on them, because that means things are happening and moving in the forward direction, which we really want. And just be patient with us. We're doing a great job. We're just like Lisa said, trying to be transparent as possible. And we're really excited about this project.
All right, it's been a long time coming, right? And last words, Peyton, do you have anything that you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say from, a core and main side that it's been a pleasure to work with everybody on this project. Everybody has gone above and beyond to make sure that the residents of the city are taken care of to the fullest of standards.
All right. And Jason?
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting it started and moving forward with no issues in sight.
Okay. From your lips to yes. Okay.
So I'd like to reiterate how we appreciate the customers' patience in this challenge while the older system was declining in performance, and they've had to deal a lot with our customer service. I appreciate our staff, both at the City Hall and out in the field, to help provide a proper bill for the customers through that process. In the past, it would take us about 10 years to change out our meter system. We do about 10% a year. In this effort, we're going to try to do it all in 18 to 24 months. So that's why it took some advanced planning to pull something off when you're changing out 25,000 of something, and when you have people connected to that something, it makes it even that much more challenging. So,
Right.
so we appreciate the patience. We're going to have, with Lisa's help, just an ongoing communication campaign that will be at different levels of information. We'll have general information of where we're starting and where we are with things. And then we'll have communication outreach more specific to either your business or as we get into the residential area, where you will be able to do a mailing to kind of a more general area, maybe subdivisions or a part of town where we'll be focused on the exchanges. Because when we do the residential, we'll be able to do a lot more on a given day compared to commercial. As we indicated earlier, it takes a little more effort to coordinate, and sometimes it takes a lot longer because these meters can be much larger. And so their help is on the way. I appreciate it, the support of the commission and the patience of the customers and staff in working through this challenge at this time. But with a really good team that we have in place, we have a solution that's on the verge of taking off here, and the customers should be pleased with the final outcome.
I have 3 questions actually that just came to mind. For residential, will the water be turned off while they're changing out the meters? By the way, yes, right. Do you know how approximately how long is it gonna? And probably on off hours, right, when people mostly are not home. Is that easy to explain?
Well, most of the time on the residential side, they'll make contact by knocking on the door, and they'll get with the customer and let them know if it's a bad time. Most of the time, the customer will say, washing the kids. I've got stuff going on. The installers will most likely skip that address and continue on.
Okay.
But if they're shutting off the water, changing the meter, it's usually about a 30-minute time frame.
Gotcha.
And the water's going to be back on.
All right. Then I have another question. Would you want to add to that, Bill? Okay. Where will the old meters go? Is there like a meter heaven or something? Where do they go? Is there going to be recycled?
You're right. There is a meter heaven.
Okay.
But it's actually a contractor that will take it and recycle the meters. That's normally the course of action, right? If they're salvageable, and because of the components they're made, there's brass and there's different things that associated that can be recycled.
Yeah.
So it is marketable, and there are vendors that take care of the old meters.
Okay.
But they make it to heaven as well.
Okay. And then another thing, where are these? Where are census? That's what they're called. Census meters. Where are they manufactured, by the way?
So they have a facility in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, where a lot of meters are manufactured there. They also, Jason, maybe you can help me. Where is their other facility of?
But they're in the United States. They're from the United States, right? Made in America.
Yes, I believe most of the meters are the large meters come out of Uniontown.
Okay.
There's some meters that comes out of North Carolina, and then there's some transmitters that are actually being produced in Mexico.
Okay. I just was wondering about that. Monty, did you have any last good words to share with the folks listening?
Yeah, well, we've talked a lot about us that are on the call, but there was a whole staff of people with the City of Sanford that worked diligently, through the development of this project, from the billing department, customer service, the meter department, and they put a lot of time and effort into making sure this is a good project. And they really need some kudos because their dedication was phenomenal.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yes, thank you to our city team, and especially our city commissioners for supporting this project and approving the funding of this much needed utility project. All right. Well, I think we've got just our last minute sound effects here and. Water, right? That's it. It's all about water and our water meters. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on this episode. We hope it's informative for you. Please share it with people that you know that will be affected by this water meter replacement project, and just for those that may be interested in city government and services that we provide. You can find this podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts and on the city website. That's sanfordfl.gov. Thank you for listening. Thank you, everybody, for being part of this episode, and we will catch you later. Thank you again. Bye now.